Welcome back to Rate My Chase, Chase Beta Prospect. The chronicles are all done. Before we get into the chases, let's have a Ruined F segment brought to you by Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. We got the elements. Anyway, back when we had Rate My Chase back in Crazy Bob's, Perspective Chases got their own episode and compilation. But in Rate My Chase, Chase Beta Prospect, especially lately, we've been integrating perspective chases into these episodes, which are chases that don't get a grade, no labeling, no real editing. In this one, the main chase is going to be Emre, but we'll get to that a bit later. Before that, we'll have some warm-up perspective chases. First one will be Kamanis versus Anka. This will be her 5th straight Rate My Chase, I think. After that, we'll have a perspective chase involving Xlazine and Project Hex. Some warm-ups right there. Anyway, for Emre, of course, cop versus civilian. You gotta have a lot of reflexes at times. But you also have to have a strong F key in the case of Emre, because his car's gonna blow up a few times, and he's gonna try to ask the cops for some help to advance his chase by getting to the driver's seat and spamming F to see if he can trick some of these cops while robbing the Pacific Standard. Let's get to the chases. Time for a chase. Before we get into the main chase of Emre, we got a couple of perspective chases to go through here. We've got Kamanis right now. He's going northbound here after robbing the Pacific Standard, trying to get to his destination right here. There is Chabs in the air with a Nakota, as Kamanis will get in ahead of Chabs. Chabs will take some shots down as Kamanis goes into the grass and gets back on the street with his Oracle XS. Now going eastbound, Chabs looking to reset, takes some more shots as he weaves in the road, and Chabs takes himself down as he says, "Not again," in chat. Second entry into the death list right here. Dead is dead, says Kamanis. As we look behind us, we see Anka in on this chase here. This is the Latvian Civil War chase, as Anka comes down with a Comet S2. Kamanis, I'm guessing, is a Latvian national. Anka, with other roots, putting the boost on there, trying to get behind Kamanis right here, as Anka with a nice hit on Kamanis right there to knock him into the railing. He gets off-road past a couple of cactus, going into the trailer park here. Kamanis will go along the dirt road, and he successfully robs the Pacific Standard for 800k. Vehicle health down to 390. Here's some rams by Anka onto Kamanis right here. Ram after ram after ram. Kamanis finally gets out, and he's on that timer as Anka gets body slammed by Kamanis. Kamanis will surrender, but break the surrender and take more punches at Anka, who will try to shoot him with a stun gun here. Kamanis trying to fight Anka, shooting, and gets Kamanis with a stun gun, but a penalty here. Kamanis has been arrestable for quite a while. Who are they gonna call it on?
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 6 of the offense, taunting, throwing the ball at another player.
So there it is, Anka finally getting the arrest on Kamanis, but she is hit with the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, taunting, for taking quite a while to do so. The Borat Gauge stars will be retained for the start of the next chase. Let's get to the next perspective chase. Final perspective chase of the Rate My Chase. Before we get into Emre, we have Xlazine taking shots right now at Project Hex's Bullet. trying to grind on him here as we see Chabs in the air drop down. NPC hits Project Hex, who knocks into us. Xlazine has Serrano down to pretty low health here as Treviso and Unapex come in. The police interceptor right here. Project Hex reversing. Car on fire for Xlazine. He will surrender right next to the car on fire. Treviso is stuck in the animation. He gets taken down by the exploding car. As from that, Project Hex turns warrant. Soup comes up and a Rancher XL gets hit by Aleka. And Unapex there, destroying him with the combat pistol. Now going northbound to the Del Perro Zoomer gas station is Project Hex trying to fix his vehicle, or in around it here, and knocked into by Jensen. Project Hex gets hit. Emily getting some rams on there. Hex hits Jensen. Some bumper cars right here. We get into by Project Hex. Shot at by Chabs. Cars smoking. Project Hex comes out. It's knocked into by Jensen and he gets taken down. Penalty flag on the field. What is it for?
13-yard
Got an
line.
inadvertent face
Flag
mask
is down on that
on the
play.
defense.
His face
Number
mask may
37,
have been
still
pulled.
second
The
down.
officials are
So Jensen there knocked over Project Hex, killed him by accident, obviously. An inadvertent kill of the warrants equates to a 5-yard face mask. Let's get into the main chase, the Rate My Chase with Emre. And here we are outside of the Pacific Standard right here. You hear the alarm inside. The preacher comes in. He's got the siren on, knocking over the T-20, running over a few civilians with it, as well as preacher gets out, set to go inside the bank, but Emre comes out of the other entrance to the Pacific Standard, running down the street, across the street. He knows already his T-20 is finished. He gets inside of a bike. Charlotte comes in the police interceptor. Emre gets out of the Damon as we see Treviso and Anapex come in. Emre getting inside the Infernus, and he finally takes off. No hot wiring. The smashing of F right there, pretty easy this time for Emre, but will it continue to be this easy as we go southbound? Treviso has lost his passenger seat cop Anapex. Emre crashes straight into a tree. We knock into him by accident in that Infernus. Some bumper cars into the trees right here, going eastbound in Hawick. Emre will go up, get hit into by Treviso. Emre will turn around. We see Foz in the Zion, obviously, for Zion Williamson. Going on to the Los Santos freeway right here as Emre goes over the ramp. Treviso hesitating as he gets knocked into Emery's Infernus on fire. He jumps out of it and gets taken down as we have a blade lock here. Emre trying to get inside the T-20. Emre has gotten in the T-20. Foz not loving it. We see the Borat gauge automatically up to 4 stars right there. Treviso left stranded in the sewers right here as Emre has taken the police T-20 and is going around La Mesa right here. A little bit later, going eastbound, we see Chabs in the air and then the Coda. Navarro still going after Emre right here as we get into the dirt lands and the Palmetto Highlands. Emre, pretty close to his destination right here. He gets it. Robbing the Pacific Standard for almost 600K right here. Now going up the hill. Some taunting right there by Emre. Going up the hills, trying to get back onto the road right here as Chabs dips down and carries the police T-20 into some more hills. The car is stationary. Foz hits him. Navarro hits him. Foz outside of the Zion. Emre gets out as Chabs gets taken down and goes to the driver's seat. Navarro. And look at that. Oh, what a noob. Navarro, the chief of police, or so we thought. Emre has taken away his T20, and Navarro has been relegated to the level of cop of Treviso. Emre doing some more taunts in chat as he's taking another police T20 here in the Palomino Highlands. Navarro thinking he's got an F, but we'll see in the chase analysis. Emre keeps on going right here as Preacher is back, this time with the police interceptor, now going southbound in the Tatavia Mountains, going back towards Los Santos. Borat gauge finally down from 8 stars right there. Navarro seeking refuge in Faz's Zion as we go northbound toward the Del Perro Zoomer garage here. Looks like Emre's trying to fix his vehicle, but he'll get away. He gets hit by Faz going through the gas tanks right here. Emre now going northbound, going to the Great Ocean Freeway, if I've got that correct. Emre, though, will turn right around. Great Ocean Highway, excuse me. Faz turns around. We see Zephyro still in the Futo. Now going eastbound is Emre, going back to the mainland Los Santos. Chab's back in the air a bit later right here. Preacher has changed his car again to a Banshee 900R. A lot of respect for that one. Tough car to drive. Northbound goes Emre right here as Preacher tries to get closer and closer to the man. Chabs with some air support right here, making sure that Emre doesn't get too far. Preacher doing pretty well, following in a pretty hard to drive Banshee 900R, taking those turns pretty conservatively right here. Now we're going deep into West Vinewood, where all the desired houses are. Turning left is Emre, going southbound. On the map, we see Faz and Navarro back in the chase. This time they've switched from a Zion to a T20. Zion out for the season, obviously. Westbound now, Emre having issues here. Out of the vehicle, what'll he do?
Fuck! I don't know what's going on.
And look at
I don't understand
Emre,
this.
nowhere to go, stationary, and gets arrested by Navarro for a bit of revenge. These cops finally learn to lock their vehicle as Emre gets taken down. And there it is, both of those prospective chases, and Emre smashing his F key. I'd be surprised if that key is functional after that chase. Getting into the chase analysis here, let's give his chase a B- over a 9-minute chase from the time where he robbed the Pacific Standard. We saw about 63% of it. The cops not gonna be happy with their performances. Preacher gets a D+. Faz, kind of weird to call him Faz and not Fog Davis. Best grade in the chase, though not a high ceiling, C-. Charlotte, Jeffro, we already know there. Navarro thought he was gonna get an F, he gets a D. Treviso gets an F. It was not automatic though. And Chabs, he made some plays, but suicide and all that, Love agreed at D+, although he did carry Emre to his T20 being not functional, but he did go on to steal another, so doesn't really matter, does it? Not a great showing by any of these cops, to be quite honest with you, but sometimes in order to have a good rate in my chase, all the cops have to suck. And after people always talking about how cops are OP, I think this was a good rise and shine to show that cops sometimes, I guess, are not OP. Anyway, let's get into the Stugotz of the chase. We get a co-Stugotz, obviously, and it's pretty obvious who this will go to. It'll go to Treviso and Navarro. Start the clip, please. Thank you. Treviso first problem here as he hesitates, gotta grow some balls to get over the ramp right here. Emery's Infernus is on fire. He was a sitting duck right there. All you gotta do is get out, lock your vehicle, and get the arrest. Instead, Emery came right in to the passenger seat, stole the car, and Foz in chat, the ... Preacher, the GG, and that GG this chase, because Treviso, that was the last time that we saw him in that one. Second Stugatz here for Nabarro. We see Emery. He gets hit into by Foz with the Zion. Hit into by Nabarro with his police T20. Emery is stationary and cannot move his vehicle as Chabs puts some fireworks. Nabarro is obviously looking at the fireworks as Chabs is being taken down because he didn't realize that Emery was able to steal his vehicle. And Emery right there, as you see in chat, a lot of exclamation on that one. Nabarro pretty embarrassed, I'm sure, that he got his car taken away. For a guy who was in the behind the scenes for the servers making, you would think that he would have the game plan all figured out. Instead, Emery is there for the steal. And that will do it for this episode of Rate My Chase. Chase Beta Prospect. Been a few months since we've seen a non-Chronicles chase. The three chases: Kamanis versus Anka, the X-Lazine and Project Hex perspective, and Emery and his swollen F-key. We'll see you next time for the next Rate My Chase, Chase Beta Prospect. Nice chases.
And I'd like to see it now. So this is Zion warming up. We don't have him. It could be another 2-3 weeks. But Chuck, you had a visceral reaction to this.
It looked like me and Shaq had a baby. What they gonna do, man? I look like I quit. I gotta get. Hey, come on, man. What it look like, Chuck? Me and you had a baby. God